Mumble mentality activated. I waited for so long. Get burdens out, I'll wait. When you see me in my zone, you can bet I'm doing numbers. And my stock is going up because of my hunger. When you see me in my...
Oh, yes, sir. We is in that thing once again. Episode 3, Gentlemen's Talk. I am Mr.GQ, the CEO of Diffs International, because Diffs ain't just local and domesticated. We worldwide. That's why we passport bros.
I am the other half of your host, DJ Micah B, the leader of the Baby Mama Steelers. Let's get it.
And you already know, you see you got the homie J Bev in the building, so you know that means we about to get started with some WWE reaction. We got to start with WrestleMania because you already know shit was live, shit was real. Let's get to it. Fellas, initial reactions going off of just night one. How do you feel about Saturday?
All right, straight up. North American Championship, that stole the show. Until my boy Carmelo Hayes came and won that NXT title. Finally. But my boy Dragon Lee, hey, he surprised me. I watched him a little bit on the indie scene and I wasn't too hyped up on him. But in that Fatal 5-Way, oh, he did his damn thing. He did his thing. But, you know, Wesley had to come and take it all. He came in at the last second. You know, that surprised me because I honestly thought he was going to lose it. But Braun Breaker, he put on a good show too. He did. He sold it because in all actuality, I honestly don't think Carmelo Hayes could have took that title without some help from his little sidekick. Can't even call that boy a name.
I wouldn't necessarily call him a little sidekick. I mean, my man about 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, you're right.
Man, he got big little sidekick shit. but no, I'm with you though. Well, sort of. I still think Carmelo could have done it. It was going to be time. No matter how the match was set up, Carmelo Hayes was going to win no matter what. It's just the way the story was being written. Eventually, Braun, which I thought he was going to get a main roster call up on Monday, but clearly, as for those of us who watched NXT this past Tuesday, we had a little bit of a shift. So my man Braun Breaker done turned into a bit of a heel change all of a sudden. So back on Stand and Deliver, because just like we talked about in the pre-show, man, it absolutely stood and it delivered. The females match, oh my God, I'm glad that they finally given Indy Hartwell that push that she deserved.
You called it.
Hey, I told you. And you know what? Even she got the assist from her on-screen husband, the creepiest motherfucker since the Boogeyman. So because that man came out of nowhere and said, hold on, but get on these shoulders real quick. Let me help you climb up this ladder. But that match was great. The action, and I've said this, and people continue to push back, but I'm like, NXT has got one of the deepest and best women's divisions in all of pro wrestling, no matter what promotion you want to look at, because they've got the perfect combination of powerhouses, your cruiserweight styles, your extremely super athletic women. Like, they've got them all. And they all blend together so well. There's not a lot of bad matches.
And they are the home of my favorite female wrestler at that. Surprise. Roxanne Perez.
Hey, sticking with Stand and Deliver, I'm starting to become a fan of the tag team Gallus.
Oh, yeah. I'm
becoming a fan.
Yeah. No, for sure.
The Rock daughter actually showed me she might be a decent wrestler.
She's not bad on the mic. She's definitely, like, the whole thing they did with Chase U. With Chase U, like, they've been doing that little back and forth they've been doing on NXT. She's showing some pretty good mic skills. You can tell she's been practicing, basically.
Yeah.
So she's not bad. You still, I mean, she definitely looked like her daddy. Like, she got that long face. So that shit's defined. But off of Stand and Deliver, of course, we had WrestleMania Night 1 go down. Of course, it was full of, call it what you will. I called it fireworks because that shit was live.
My boy Logan Paul delivered like I told y'all he would. That match was phenomenal. I give that a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah. Seth Rollins, hey, man, that man sold that match. He sold the hell out of it.
He had to, and it was good. But, I mean, there was no way they was going to let Seth lose 3 years in a row. There was just no way. Yeah. Like, Seth is too much of a megastar to just let him lose at the grandest stage like this. So It was good timing. About time he got another dub, and it's time to insert him back into the main event scene. But the problem is, we still have unified belts right now.
I tell you what, WrestleMania Night 1 gets an A on an A+ rating. They get an A. Phenomenal matches. The match that really, really disappointed me, which we'll get to later on, and I'll tell y'all why, was the main event. The main event match. The main event match was the biggest disappointment of the night. That's the only reason why they don't get an A+. Because how do you have a main event match be so bad? But
the true main event was the women's championship match. That was the true main event on night 1, because that stole the show. Me and Micah had talked about it on the phone, and I said that was the most physical standard wrestling match I've ever seen from two females. Like with all the normal wrestling rules, your count outs and all that stuff, like the most physical standard match. Of course, if it would have been an Extreme Rules, it would have absolutely delivered as an Extreme Rules match. Before it being a match under regular standard rules, it was a phenomenal physical match. Both women looked amazing. And Micah said it because we talked about this a lot on the phone. Unlike the main event from night 1 and from night 2, you didn't see an overuse of finishers. What you saw was a lot more counters. Because every single time Rhea went for the Riptide, Charlotte countered. And then the figure 4 happened. We finally got a little flip. We reversed that. And what a lot of people didn't realize is, so whenever Rhea hit that move on Charlotte from the top rope, that's how she won her first championship. That's how she won the NXT women's title, the exact same move.
Damn.
Yeah. I've been watching Rhea Ripley for a long time.
I've been watching it for a while too, but I didn't catch
that's mommy right there. But here's the other thing. So check this out. I don't know if y'all caught this. So Indy Hartwell and Rhea Ripley are both from Australia. So you had 2 Australian champions crowned this past weekend on the same night. Australian takeover.
Yeah. Damn.
I did not know Indy Hartwell was from Australia, but it just upped my little crush on her a little bit more. Because Australian women. I love my international women, and Australian women is high on that list.
Let's talk about my boys, the Street Profits.
Yes, because that Fatal 4-Way was definitely a good match.
We were going to get there too, but since you want to jump to it now, goddamn, we ain't even get to ask you the questions yet.
Oh, ask me. Ask away.
It's all right. So, first question is plain and simple. What was the most disappointing match all weekend?
How about we just do? You know what? Let's just do it for both days. Let's do Saturday one day and Sunday one day.
Right.
Let's do it.
Too easy.
So, most disappointing.
For Saturday,
yeah.
Brock Lesnar and Omos, and the Usos and Sammy and KO. It's a tie.
Okay.
I honestly could. It's a coin flip. I honestly couldn't tell you which match pissed me off the most.
I'm going to agree with the Usos versus Sammy and KO. I'm not going to say the most disappointing was Brock Lesnar and Omos, because nobody expected anything from that match. It was a filler match. We all knew it going in. That match was going to be trash. We called it last week. It wasn't good.
Listen.
Bill almost as a unstoppable giant. Treat him with the same respect that you treated like the likes of John Cena and them when they fought Brock.
But you know, we literally talked about it. This must have went over your head last week. We talked about this last week. I said it wasn't going to work for one particular reason. Number one, Omos is not a good wrestler. But more importantly, gone are the days where you just put a giant in the ring and he's supposed to be intimidating, because big guys are actually skilled now in the art of wrestling. He is not. So you can only do so much with him.
True.
He has the same 3 to 4 moves, and against somebody like Brock, who in his own right only really has like 3 or 4 moves, it didn't correlate like you needed it to. But I understand what both of y'all are saying. The most boring match, most disappointing match for me was Pat McAfee and The Miz. That was the most unnecessary ass match on Saturday. I
didn't think about that one. Just it didn't matter.
It was a Johnny on the spot, but it was like, it didn't, because last year they tried to use a formula from last year when they brought out Stone Cold Steve Austin and all this stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
Not the same. It's not the same. It wasn't the same. Like, it wasn't. But that for me was the most disappointing match. The Brock and Omos wasn't disappointing because I had no expectations of that match.
Facts. Yeah.
Usos, Sami Zayn, and KO. I mean, it is what it is. There was a lot of hard hitting action in it, but there was kind of like me and you was talking about on the phone already, Micah. There was an overabundance of finishers.
I'm tired of super kicks, man. I am tired of it.
Bro, I think it's like 20 wrestlers using the damn super kick. It's becoming it went from being a finishing move to a standard move.
Like it was like 60 super kicks in this match. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Another thing about that match, my whole thing is if y'all's gonna dethrone the Usos, dethrone them with a credible tag team that they have already lost to.
Street Profits probably should have got this win over the Usos.
The New Day. I mean, the New Day, you know, they not the New Day no more. They all.
Well, you got 2 out of 3 are literally on the shelf right now.
Kofi and Big E.
Yeah, because I don't think Big E's even been medically cleared yet. Kofi is out for I don't even know how long he's out. Xavier Woods was nicked up for a little bit, but he's all right. But he's been doing kind of stuff like I always forget his name till I see his face. He's doing a lot more promotional stuff right now.
Yeah.
You know what the crazy thing is? The Miz might have been the host of WrestleMania, but they dropped the ball in making Xavier Woods the host of WrestleMania, bro. I really believe it because all the stuff he did backstage, he nailed everything. Like I really enjoyed watching him doing the WWE simulators,
the up, down, downs, all that stuff.
Yeah, they did. But Uncle Snoop.
Yeah, let's yeah.
He made WrestleMania.
We're gonna get to Sunday. Hold on.
All right. So which match did you see that was surprisingly good?
All right. You know what? A lot of people didn't like it, and I talked all kinds of noise about it. But the women's tag, was that Saturday or Sunday?
That's the Fatal 4-Way for the women.
Yeah.
That's Sunday. Saturday.
Saturday.
Surprisingly good. Literally. I thought the Fatal 4-Way men's was going to be trash and it was going to be too much at one time. Not only did that match deliver, it was the second best match on Saturday night.
Completely agree.
That's why you do Superplex or Starling Brain, whatever the hell you want to call it, because they're both the same damn move, really and truly.
Yeah. It was good. That was great.
That was insane. That match, everything about that match was great. They nailed it. I don't know who wrote that match or whatever, but they absolutely nailed it, and they deserve a pay raise because that was a brilliant match.
It was.
Yeah, no, I'm actually, honestly, I'm a big fan of the Ricochet and Braun Strowman combination.
I like that combination too.
I think it's better than it's better than I thought it would be because I didn't know how it was gonna go at first, but the more I watch those two, like. You've literally got hyper athleticism meets a powerhouse, and it works.
Yeah. The best part of that match was when when Braun got down to do this little train thing.
Oh,
that second round.
I don't even think.
What's up? I can't even think of his name from the Street Profits. He like Braun Strowman.
You talking about
Angelo
D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, man. Angelo did that, bro.
Hey, boy, I jumped up, boy. I spilled my beer and everything. I was like, oh my God.
You don't commit sins like that. What is wrong with you?
I only spilled
but major shout out to Otis too, man. Otis showed his ass in that match too.
He did.
Yeah.
Like Otis strong as shit. He just short.
Yeah.
Like
low center of gravity. His legs are strong.
Man, I remember when that man used to do that damn caterpillar.
When he got the gyrate.
Yeah, I was like, come on, bro. I fucked with Heavy Machinery though. I thought it was a dope tag team.
Yeah.
Like, it really and then I think his partner ain't even in WWE anymore. I think he's in AEW now, actually.
Impact.
Here's a little side note, kind of. What was surprisingly good about Saturday, I'll even say Sunday, but we're not on Sunday yet. But I'm gonna say Saturday. What was surprisingly good about Saturday? The commentators absolutely nailed it at this WrestleMania. Y'all better start putting some respect on Michael Cole's name when Vince McMahon is not in his ear. They absolutely nailed it. Titus O'Neil came out and he was amazing too. They nailed it. The commentary team was just
shout out to Bad Bunny on the Spanish commentary too.
For real. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I got mad respect for all them Spanish commentators. If y'all go back and watch it.
Oh, you talking when they bailed out?
Boy, that motherfucker was moving.
Hey, you'd thought
they was moving.
Hey, you'd have thought the house was on fire the way them boys bailed out and jumped over the rail.
Them boys was moving.
That shit was hilarious.
Ever since last year, I can't remember what pay-per-view it was, but somebody got thrown through a table and one of them got knocked out.
That was extreme. That was Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Ever since that pay-per-view, them boys don't play. The second they see somebody get on the top rope, they over the rail.
They say, bail out.
So I know this isn't one what we talked about, Jay, but well, GQ, not this Jay. But anyway, Saturday, what's your favorite moment?
Favorite moment.
Damn. Favorite moment. Ooh, it's a lot of good ones.
For me, I mean, it had for me it was Rhea Ripley winning the championship finally, like at WrestleMania. Essentially getting her get back from 2 years ago when she got her ass mollywop.
Wasn't even a match 2 years ago.
With you. When Dawkins knocked Braun on his ass. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
That was epic.
I would say my favorite moment would have to be I know this is gonna sound cliche, but Seth Rollins changing at the last minute when Logan Paul was spitting in the air like Triple H.
Oh yeah.
KSI on the table. And KSI interfering with the match is real good too, because I didn't know who was inside the prime suit.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. So
I was hoping it was Bray Wyatt.
Get out of here! Why?
Bray Wyatt. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, you know Bray is nowhere to be found right now. He is quote unquote injured.
He's off the grid. What he is.
Yeah. So best match Saturday night.
Oh no! Without a doubt. The women's championship match. Was it SmackDown?
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Yeah. That was SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah.
That one and the second, the close second would be the Seth Rollins and Logan Paul.
Yeah, Seth also can get the award for worst outfit that night too.
Hey man, you better leave my boy alone. He got the drip, dog.
Hey, that's drip guy, the WWE.
Man,
hey, I guarantee. Hey, you know what? I wish I had Russell Westbrook on the phone. I bet Russell Westbrook say that shit was dripping.
I bet he would too, but man, Seth Rollins came out looking like a whole ass pack of Bubblicious, bro. Like, what the fuck going on?
How about this one? Best entrance on Saturday.
Ooh.
On Saturday.
I'm going with Logan Paul, but I just want to see what y'all.
I'm going with Logan Paul.
Seth Rollins' entrance was top too.
Yeah, nah, but Seth with the symphony, man, that shit was actually fire.
That was fire too.
Yeah, no, for sure. So looking at Sunday, obviously same questions. Which match do you think was the most disappointing? That's a little tricky because Sunday.
The fatal four-way for the women. I don't care what Joseph got to say today. That fatal four-way women's match, I thought was absolutely horrendous. There was too many botches, and the way it ended was too predictable. I called it like 5 minutes.
Did I not say all that from the jump?
I thought you liked it. No, I thought you liked it. My bad. Okay, so
that match was pretty. That match was trash.
The worst match of the night, it'll be that one. It just surprised me that it was better than I thought it was going to be.
That shit was worse than I thought it was going to be.
It was exactly what I expected it to be. Like this is why I go back to what I keep saying about the NXT women's division. There's even less botches in the NXT women's matches than there are in the main roster matches like that.
If I had to give it a rating, the rating I would have gave it before I watched it would have been no higher than a 3. I actually give it a 4.5.
Oh no, I get that whole too.
Hey, listen, bro, that whole get a 1 for me. Okay, but regardless, here's my biggest takeaway from that match is WWE has no idea what they're doing with the women's division on the main roster. Zero. Because Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey should not have won this match. Not even in a hindsight. It was Liv Morgan and
Shotzi.
Liv Morgan and Shotzi was absolutely my favorite team out of the whole match. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey just do the same shit over and over again. They have the same 7 set of moves that they've been doing for however long they've been in WWE now. They're not getting any better. Ronda Rousey was a part of that whole first women's WWE WrestleMania main event trash ass match that had so many botches, and this one they botched it again. It was horrible.
The one where Becky became Becky 2 belts.
Yes. It was a bad idea. It was horrible. It should have never been done. I get it. You put the men on Saturday, you put the women on Sunday. You want to feature this and trash, just garbage. It was garbage, and they don't ever need to do that again. Ever.
No, it was terrible, and all it's doing is literally setting up. At some point, Ronda and Shayna are going to take the belts, probably at SummerSlam off of Becky and Lita, because Lita ain't going to be able to hold that motherfucker for a year, because Lita is about 4 steps too slow.
Oh, you know what?
That's the match I just called.
That's the match that was freaking trash to me, too.
To me, that was just as
oh, my God.
Fatal 4-way with the women.
I forgot all about that one. It slipped my mind. And it's not that the whole match sucked. Lita just needs to retire and not ever come back.
Yeah.
Trish was pretty good. Trish was pretty good in the match.
Trish looked the same. Trish looked like she ain't aged.
What? Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was so all right, what about the match that you thought was surprisingly good?
Dom and Ray.
Well, that was Saturday, huh? But
no, that was Sunday.
That was Sunday.
It was Sunday, yeah. No, that definitely was. I was surprised because Dom has been looking.
I didn't think Dom was gonna hold his own like he did.
Yeah, because Dom has been terrible. No, Dom has been flat out terrible on SmackDown. Like he has. I'm sorry.
I thought he was gonna hold his own just basically because I thought his dad was going to put him over the top and sell him. So that's what I thought was going to happen. So I expected that match to be good. But I didn't expect Rey Mysterio to take the bet out and whoop this nigga ass.
That was my favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
Hey, how was he able to do that and not get disqualified?
He just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. They gave him a little bit of leeway.
I was like, hold on, man. They let this man whoop his son ass like for real, for real. I was like, this man literally pulled the belt out.
You know, I will say this though.
Straight up though, that was also by far to answer a question you're gonna have later. That was also the best entrance. Rey Mysterio's entrance on Sunday was absolutely fucking fire. That tribute to Rey Mysterio, Snoop driving the lowrider, that shit was fire. That shit was absolutely fire. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. My B.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio's entrance was
yeah, it was fire.
Like, it was just the fact that Snoop was driving that hoe just made it.
That to me, I agree. That's the best entrance. My favorite entrance though might be
Belair, bro. Oh my God.
My favorite might be Roman's.
Roman's was fire too, but Bianca's was dope. Hers was fire, and then I found out. Did you watch the press conference afterwards?
I missed it.
No, I didn't.
The little girl, the contortionist.
Yeah.
Her mom had died that morning.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Her mom had passed away, and she still performed that night. Yeah, Triple H had talked about it in the press conference, and I was like, bro, that is crazy. So like they give out the condolences and stuff. Yeah, but like her mom, the little girl that was a contortionist, her mom had passed away.
That's crazy.
I was like, dog, she didn't show no emotion in that moment. Like she showed the passion like a dancer would, but not like, you just lost your mom type of thing. But I was like, bro, that's you want to talk big heart moment.
That's crazy.
I don't think I could have done it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think I could have done it.
Oh, hey, let's back up to Saturday real quick. We didn't even talk about John Cena and old boy.
Ain't nothing
There
to
was
talk about.
no need to talk about that match. Not that it was a solid match. I expected John Cena to lose because I mean they kind of gave it away during the promo when he was like, when you come back now on Monday, you're here by yourself and you have to figure out a way to captivate the crowd. Is basically what he was saying. He didn't say it in those words,
Yeah.
but pretty much it's like, okay, I passed he ain't really passed the torch, but like, okay, you beat me. Now it's time for you. It took Roman, even after Roman beat John Cena, it took Roman a long time to catch fire in WWE.
It did.
It took him a very long. It took all the way until he finally turned heel to catch fire.
Say that. It's funny to say that because the same thing that John did to Roman, he did to Austin Theory with the whole forgetting your lines and not being able to cut a promo. He did the same exact thing.
Yeah, but the other difference you got to remember too with Roman's situation is Roman also had to take that leave of absence for his medical stuff. So that kind of actually delayed his takeoff. So when he came back at SummerSlam and did what he did, that was what propelled him, for the heel turn that we were talking about.
Yeah, but he was still in WWE for a while.
No, he was, but then when that whole thing with all of his medical history, I think leukemia, I believe is what it was, or is, sorry. Because I noticed it, if you watch the press conference, which, if y'all ever do watch that, you'll see I didn't even notice it, but after that, he was wearing like a monitor around his area, and I was like, oh. So I understand why all the stories kept coming about him needing a break. I'm like, well, yeah, this man been going hard in the paint for like 2 years.
He should probably take a break until SummerSlam. He shouldn't have to have a match at Backlash.
Nah, it's probably gonna be Cody versus Brock.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all do catch Raw, y'all will understand.
That was stupid.
No. I caught that part of Raw.
Oh, okay. The part that none of us understood.
But it was
it was dumb. Like, it made no sense. Like, Roman, what was Roman actually there for if that's what he was gonna do?
I think they were being cautious with Roman's health, because they knew he just came off of a long match with Cody, a hard match. Well, I wouldn't say it was hard, but it was a good match, and it was just like, hey, just show up. This was going to happen. We're going to take care of you, this and that, because obviously, Raw after WrestleMania, the champion has to show up, bro. Like it's not negotiable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, Raw after WrestleMania is the closeout, so. I think they just wanted to make sure and take care of Roman. No, Roman needs a break. I think Roman should take like a month off, miss Backlash, and come back right on time to go through the motions for SummerSlam. Like once every 2 weeks before, because SummerSlam is what, June or July? I always forget.
No, May.
May. Show you right.
Backlash is in May. Yes, in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is hosting it. SummerSlam. SummerSlam is usually July, August,
right?
Usually August.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So he should, like, once every 2 weeks he'll come and cut a promo and things like that, and take a little break up until SummerSlam. Maybe they could write into the story to where he has to relinquish at least one of the belts for now. Whether it's because he was on SmackDown, right? So maybe they get it like, all right, we need you to relinquish the Raw because you have to do this and that, and you have to, you know what I'm saying, write into the story somehow. And at least give Cody and Brock a chance to fight for the Raw Championship, because that seems like what it's leading towards. Because if they give Cody and Brock a fight at Backlash as a main event and the title isn't on the line, nobody's gonna give a shit about it. Nobody.
But excuse me. The only issue with your thought process there is they're gonna still want to push him for his 1,000 days.
When does 1,000 days hit?
SummerSlam. He's like 60. He's like 60 something days away. Yeah, he's at 947 or something like that.
Yeah, 947, 948.
So he's literally 2 months away.
Well, okay. So my other proposal would be is, instead of pushing Cody and Brock, they should push Sammy and Jey Uso for a 1-on-1. Literally, like I'd rather see that than Cody and Brock.
They do Cody and Brock, and Cody wins is beyond unbelievable.
Right.
I see no way. I don't see in any way, shape, or form where Cody has even a 30% chance of winning that match.
I can see where they would do that because you can't have him lose at WrestleMania and then follow it up by losing at Backlash.
Why the hell not?
Because Cody is white hot right now, and you got to keep his momentum going. And having 2 back-to-back losses is not a way to keep somebody's momentum going.
Look at Sammy.
You
Lost and then won, right?
Yeah, but Sammy's situation was a little bit different than Cody. Cody won the Rumble, fought for the title, lost the match. So he's got to have a bounce back to get back on track. Which is why they probably had Brock win at WrestleMania, so he wouldn't have to lose 2 in a row. Because he's probably going to lose at Backlash.
They need to go ahead and let Brock and Lashley run that back.
I know since Bray disappeared, I mean, let them run it back at Extreme Rules or something.
They should probably push Cody versus Solo at Backlash instead of Cody versus Brock. They should push Cody versus Solo, Jay versus Sammy, and I don't know who Jimmy would go with, but
what, KO?
KO killed Jimmy. I'm sorry. There ain't no way. Like KO beats Jimmy and Jay every time. I don't see. I understand.
Against Jay, I don't entirely agree. Jay done came a long way on as far as when he was main event Jay. Like he was doing the damn thing.
That's why I think they should push more of Jay versus Sammy in a solo. Maybe you could do it where KO is in Sammy's corner and Jimmy is just in Jay's corner and run it like that. But I would definitely be more into another Brock versus Bobby Lashley more than I would be into freaking whatever else the WWE got going on.
Well, deal with it is gonna be Brock and Cody.
Well, see, if they do a Brock versus Cody, why not have Lashley come interfere and cause Brock the match?
Right now, Lashley is getting not utilized because
cost Cody the match.
Supposed to have a quote unquote beef with Bronson Reed or whatever his name is.
Yeah, they tried to do that on Monday night. It's not very believable though.
So why not have?
Because originally,
like I said, why not have whatchamacallit interfere and cost Cody the match? Because that would limit the stop on his momentum, as you would say. Well, he can't lose twice in a row. But if it's interfered, it's interfered. And hey, and then you could push something more. And I don't know, maybe a triple threat match at SummerSlam. I don't know, but if Cody is going to lose twice in a row, they should probably chalk it up to interference.
Hell, that's what the first loss was interference.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
I mean, it was typical interference, but
yeah,
I don't. He's not going to take 2 L's in a row. He's going to end up winning at Backlash. He'll beat Brock because he's going to get. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to be a Seth Rollins style match. He'll get his ass whooped for a quarter of the match, all the suplexes. Brock gonna get tired. He gonna persevere, the Rocky Balboa treatment, and he gonna end up beating Brock.
Speaking of that, I would rather see Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns than Cody versus Roman Reigns again. So
exactly. Put Seth back in there, please.
Oh, you know what? We didn't stray. So Sunday, the surprisingly good match on Sunday. It's not surprisingly good. It's surprisingly over the top great because it was the best match on Sunday. The damn triple threat intercontinental match.
Yes.
Was phenomenal.
Yeah. That stole the show for me.
That was definitely the most physical match on Sunday, and definitely where'd it go? Edge and Finn Balor after that, because that match. Because I don't know, did you see the pictures afterwards?
Yes, I saw.
Well, Finn had 14 of them things.
Boy, when he hit him with that ladder, boy, I felt it.
I felt it. I cringed. I was like,
if you paid attention, right after he hit it, like right after he got done doing all that on the ground, you saw all the blood on the mat.
Yeah, the official kept trying to stop the match. But no, that triple threat intercontinental, they did that. They're building Gunther up to be massive.
I really wanted Sheamus to win that match whenever it started, but by the time the end of the match started coming around, like the last 10 minutes of the match, I found myself rooting for Gunther, and I never really liked him before then. But hey, that is how you do a match of big men.
Yeah.
We watch for brutality, the slaps, the chops, the
that's why when him and Sheamus fought the first time, it was like that.
Yep.
But at this point, I think they'll probably have Gunther drop it at SummerSlam is when Sheamus will finally win. Because I think Gunther's about to get
missing for Triple Crown.
Well, yeah, no, it is, yeah, but I think Gunther's going to get inserted into the main event picture at some point too, whenever they figure out all this title stuff.
As he should.
Because I'm just saying, him and Roman, that'd be a nice storyline. Because you got Imperium versus the Bloodline, like I like it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther's the one to actually take the title from Roman, because the Imperium alone is very good, bro. They're surprisingly good, and they're going to go down as one of the best factions that they stick together.
Oh no, they've always been good. If you go all the way back to NXT with them, these boys always been like that.
You know I didn't watch any.
Gunther actually lost a lot of weight. Gunther used to be fat.
Yeah,
I know that much.
This is skinny Gunther, and skinny Gunther is scary.
I'm with Gunther. Gunther ever slap me, he getting shot.
Yeah.
Gunther ain't gonna have a chance to slap me. The fuck's wrong with you?
I'm running. As soon as
bro, every single one of their chests was red and bruised, bro.
Boy, did you see?
For everybody that says WWE is fake, you're absolutely right. It's written. It's scripted. That's what fake is. All the other shit that y'all think is fake, people really get hit with chairs. They get hit with ladders. They fall from 20 feet. They jump off of jumbotrons. And most of all, those slaps are real.
These are highly paid stuntmen and women.
You can see the amount of receipts that were given in that match.
Yeah,
that was the best part of the match.
Stone Cold was doing the interview, and he said something. I'm paraphrasing. He said, like, UFC fighters, y'all train in one place. Y'all got the same trainer day in and day out. You always walking with your entourage, this and this and this. Step into our world. Week in and week out, we train in different places, different trainers. You know, it's harder on us and this and that. And he kind of put it in perspective. I'm gonna have to tag y'all in the video.
But that makes sense though. So,
and he said it's not easy. It's like, let me hit you in the mouth one time. I guarantee you won't get back up.
Well, the part that Stone Cold forgot to add is Stone Cold is a motherfucking brawler. Not everybody is like that in WWE, bro. Stone Cold is one of the rare breeds, like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, the main event, there wasn't really a surprise. Roman wasn't dropping the belts. All
three of us called that Roman wasn't going to drop the belt, and people
tried it. I was like, it's not happening. And my biggest reasoning, and I'm standing by it still, is Cody would have been a very boring champion after a couple months. And
that's what Joseph said.
I watched this TikTok today, and this dude has said the same. He said, listen, if Cody would have won, Cody would have lost all his momentum in about 2 months. And I said the same thing. He would have won at WrestleMania. He would have won it. He'd have won at Mania. He'd have won at Backlash. Probably would have lost at SummerSlam. And then we're back to a scramble for the championship again.
Yeah, so who would have been next? It would have been back to like the early 2010s.
Off top, he'd have lost to Seth Rollins. Off top, no question about it.
Who would have been believable for them to give Cody Rhodes a clean win over? That would have drew the numbers. There's nobody, and I like Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but yeah, it would have been boring because nothing would have been believable with him. He's not overly powerful. No. He's not overly flashy. He's a very good. Yeah, he's a very good.
I'm Cody Rhodes, but if he's not a heel, I'm not trying to watch him as a champion.
I mean, the best matchup for Cody Rhodes would have been Randy Orton. We don't know when Randy Orton comes back.
No, his mentor Randy Orton would have beat him too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that would have been the closest thing to a believable matchup for him, to where he could actually win, and everybody been like, okay, that's believable. And Joseph just dropped out. His phone died. I'm pretty.
So Randy Orton, AJ Styles, those are guys that I could see. Oh, look, he made it back.
I don't know what
he
just happened.
He's alive. We just assumed your phone died.
Nah, I don't know. My internet.
Yeah, I thought it.
Probably the weather.
Hey, are you on Friday, by the way? I know this is random, but are you on Friday, Joseph?
I don't go back to work till Monday.
You trying to go boot stomping tomorrow?
Where?
Trying to go boot stomping?
Let's go.
I bet. I'm with it. So
I'll be there in spirit. I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the Copperhead Road just for you, Jeremy.
I'm with it.
So let's I know we have been big on some WWE talk right now. Before we move on from WWE, what y'all thought about Asuka and Bianca?
There was no surprise.
There wasn't.
Bianca wasn't going to lose.
I enjoyed the match.
I like the idea of what she said in the press conference that they may be building up Bianca as the next person with the newest streak, because she is on a WrestleMania win streak right now.
Is she at 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they brought that up when they were talking about during the press conference, and I was like, and then somebody else had brought it up in one of them WWE forums, I think, that me and Joseph were in, and I was like, title or not, that's not a bad idea. We haven't had a female with anything like that. Period. We just haven't.
The closest thing we've had to it was when Asuka was in NXT.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as WrestleManias go, I think it might have been Charlotte. Charlotte might have been the closest one for a while. But with somebody like Bianca, I can see it. I'm now it's hard to imagine 22 and 0, but anything's possible.
I'll say this about Bianca and Asuka, the match. They really made Asuka look good. They played to Asuka's strengths, which I was really hoping they did. That was Bianca actually, people might not, I don't know if people agree with me with this. Bianca actually surprised me with how good of a technical wrestler she can be whenever it's not all based on her power. And I feel like WWE has been underutilizing her after that match, because she's a very good technical wrestler. She's
an above average athlete.
Yeah. She's very good.
Her counters on those submissions were impeccable.
But Asuka's ability to get them in them submissions was what makes Asuka so good.
I had speculation on whether Asuka was the right person, and now I don't. Asuka was definitely the right person for the match. That was a good call. Whoever made the call.
I can't imagine anybody else that would have put on that style of match.
Right. But my biggest problem was I didn't know how technical Bianca Belair was going to be able to wrestle, because they haven't really shown that too much. And I didn't watch NXT, so maybe she was like that in NXT. I don't know, because I didn't watch NXT. But yeah.
She's always been well-rounded, but she's always just really used she's mostly only had to use her power and athleticism. She hasn't had to use much of her technical gifts.
Right. Good match, man. It was a phenomenal match. Both women championship matches on both nights were great. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed both of them.
Speaking of women's matches, what about the standoff on Monday night between Bianca and Rhea Ripley?
I can't wait for that to happen.
That right there was. You want to do Undisputed? Undisputed.
My favorite female wrestlers. I can't wait.
I hope they don't unify the belts, but I still would love to see a champion versus champion match. I
think they should push a champion versus champion match. No belt.
But we need to get away from this unified belt business, because it's I don't know.
And we also got to get away from, just because you're a champion, you have to defend your belt at a pay-per-view. Like a champion versus champion match will be dope. Maybe now they could probably go back and push a Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch kind of feud to give us another good one-on-one feud.
Well, right now, from everything I read, Charlotte doesn't have any major plans for in WWE as far as the storyline goes. So
I don't know if Becky Lynch has one either. Other than I mean, she has the tag championship, but
yeah.
I mean,
she has a small one for now.
They're gonna have to drop that at Backlash because Lita's not it. So, now who they drop it to? I don't know. Hopefully not Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. They're gonna
drop it to them eventually.
And they're gonna go down as the longest reigning women's tag team champions. We are gonna be bored in a women's tag.
I don't necessarily know if they'll beat. I don't know if they'll take that record away from Bayley and Sasha. I don't know if they'll do that. That's a big ask.
If they want to move away from Sasha, like y'all said the last time we talked, they will.
But you say that, but why would it have to be Shayna Baszler? If they're going to move away, they're going to do it to a notable team. They're going to have to do it to a notable team. Shayna Baszler,
but who's your most notable women's tag team right now? Because they're all just mixtures of people.
Damage Control.
Well, Damage Control had it for a while, and then they lost it to Becky and Lita.
Yeah, but maybe they do the whole New Day and whatchamacallit thing, New Day and Uso thing, where they just hold it back and forth, and then finally somebody just holds it for a while. Because they insert new talent into the Street Profits came along during the feud between the New Day and the Usos, and they gave the Street Profits their chance to shine and things like that. So you never know. So we'll see.
Yeah,
hey, man, let's talk about the Uncle Snoop segment on Sunday.
Oh, you mean the fact that he saved that segment?
Whole segment?
He saved it because Shane literally tore a quad.
Yeah.
On a routine
How about the doggy move. Elbow? To hell with all that.
That's the big low drop, man. That's the big low
drop.
I like that one.
My boy hit
the
crib
with a big low drop.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Crib walking at WrestleMania.
The big low drop. I'll take that one. I like that one.
Yeah, no, that was a live moment. Again, these impromptu ass matches that did not have to happen.
But you know what? I felt like whenever Shane came out, I felt like the Miz and Shane was going to be really good. I said, okay, they're putting Miz with another wrestler now, not just a influencer personality. Right. They're putting him with an actual wrestler. And I just knew that match was going because has Shane McMahon ever had a bad match at WrestleMania? No. I don't think so.
No. Shane McMahon is he could probably go down as one of the most underrated wrestlers.
Yeah, but you knew the match wasn't gonna last long because you got Miz out there in $1,000 suit trying to wrestle. Like that's not a good look.
Yeah.
That's my problem with the impromptu because you're not giving Miz a chance to wrestle. If you ever wrestled in suit pants, that shit is hard. Any kind of moving around that is not walking in suit pants is very difficult.
The Rock says otherwise with the slide in people's elbow.
Hey, we ain't gonna talk. That man, first of all, he had the loafers on. That was different.
Yeah. But yeah, my favorite moment from Sunday was watching Snoop Crip walk.
Everybody's favorite moment from Sunday was watching Snoop walk.
That was not my favorite moment from Sunday. I mean, I'm glad it was cool when it happened, but that was not my favorite.
I will say this: Snoop definitely deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, because he already is, obviously, but he definitely proved that he deserved to be there the way he saved the whole thing between Shane McMahon and The Miz, stepping in and doing something. Because
you hurt my back,
he was really injured. He was really fucking injured. I had no idea he was really injured. Whenever I saw it, I thought it was scripted. But then I found out after he was really injured.
My man said, "You all right, cuz?" Both of them.
The way he threw that punch, it almost looked real.
Yeah, no, Miz sold that punch both times.
Did y'all see the height on the big lope drop?
Yes.
Snoop did the hell out of that.
We're not finna act like Snoop is short or something. Like that's a long body getting up like that.
And that's a 50-plus-year-old man right there, bro.
Yeah. Shane ain't too far from it.
Well, I hope Shane is okay and he can give us
I hope he's okay too. And you know what?
One more.
This is the first time in 10 years that I seen Shane come out and not have on no ones.
Yeah,
That's
man,
true.
I was really disappointed. You
That's
know
the
what?
first time.
That's exactly why he hurt his knee. That's
Shane's
exactly
Jordan
his quad.
collection
That's exactly why.
goated.
That's
And
that's
he didn't
exactly
come out
why.
in ones. Like that threw me off. I was watching him run down. I was like, what the hell?
That's the
That ain't
problem.
Shane
He didn't
McMahon.
come out in Jordans. Had he came out in Jordans,
No,
his legs
those were
would have never gave
Jordans.
out on him.
I looked them up. They were Jordans. They just wasn't kind of Jordans we call Jordans. Those like flights.
No. Those count as Nikes. We all know those kind of.
Boy, Shane, man, I do hope he have a speedy recovery and whatnot.
I'll be giving us one more match, man. I felt like that was supposed to be his one more match, and then
no, for sure.
Yeah, so good stuff, man. Good stuff. WrestleMania weekend overall. I give it an A overall. I do give it an A.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm with you. I give
it
it an
A plus because they had two very terrible matches. But for me, last week saying they need to go ahead and switch it back to one night. One night coming to where I am now. I think they nailed it with the 2 nights, and they have a very, very tall task to live up to it for next year.
I honestly think they should give Stand to Deliver at least a second day.
And do what? What, a Friday, Saturday?
No, a Saturday and a Sunday.
No.
Just like what they did with
I think Stand and Deliver was fine by itself.
I think Stand and Deliver should get a Friday and should be Friday, Saturday. And you would basically not have SmackDown the Friday night. And because the Raw before WrestleMania would be fucking ridiculously fire because you have all these 2 nights coming out and they're confronting each other. Stand and Deliver would be Friday night. And saying it'd be actually kind of dope if they give a free Stand and Deliver show on Friday night in place of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then give you Saturday night, like you give you a Friday night, it don't gotta be like your heavy hitters, but they're giving just great matches all night Friday night because it will be a good push for NXT brand wise to give them notoriety. And then Saturday, after you draw them on Friday, you're like, well shit, after last night, I want to see what the fuck they're gonna do Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Give them Saturday afternoon or whatever before WrestleMania, and then go on a Saturday night WrestleMania. That would be pretty dope. So start at about 4:30 with Stand and Deliver, and then go into WrestleMania about 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Eastern.
That's basically what they did. Because Stand and Deliver happened like earlier that day, before WrestleMania Saturday kicked off.
Yeah, so they should use that Friday night to push more of the talent they want to move up, or they see progress in, and then Saturday night you get your heavy hard hitters. Saturday evening, your heavy hitters from NXT to do before WrestleMania. So yeah, that's what I would propose. Yeah.
So a couple of major stats that I wanted to bring up about WrestleMania. I know we kind of went on this like tangent of WrestleMania for like almost an hour because we got some other content we got to get to, but this was important. So at the gate for WrestleMania, right, had a record-breaking 21.6 million plus in revenue with 161,892 in attendance. The most social WrestleMania ever with 500 million views, 11 million hours of video consumed. Sponsorship revenue was a record 20 plus million, doubling the record in 2022. Merchandise sales was up 20%, and it was the largest audience in WrestleMania history.
Man.
So what does that tell you?
All that for
that Triple H is the man.
Up Monday.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. All of that just told me Triple H and Shawn Michaels absolutely nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. They got everything right besides the women's fatal 4-way. They got everything right. All of it. They listen to the WWE universe and obviously the universe is the fans, but they listened to what we all wanted. They built the storylines around what we wanted, and they absolutely nailed it. They nailed it. There's nothing else to be said about it. Triple H is the man. Shawn Michaels, he's the man. I mean, there's no reason to bring people back. Zero. Triple H has been bringing back talent and pushing NXT talent up to the main roster since he took over. And he's absolutely nailed every step of the way.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not him. It's not his choice. That's what people fail to realize. Vince McMahon is still the majority shareholder of WWE. He can come back whenever he wants, and so they can't tell him no because he's the majority shareholder.
Well, it's been a good year for me of WWE being revived. I don't think I'll if Vince McMahon comes back, I don't know how much more I'll follow again because
yeah. Now speaking of that, of course, you guys all caught the news that broke on Monday that WWE was sold to the Endeavor Group, which is the parent company for UFC. So now you've got a major entertainment conglomerate being created of UFC and WWE. I've been talking to a couple different people, and I said moving forward in the next probably 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if Royal Rumble and WrestleMania were both premium ESPN Plus events in the next couple years.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I think SummerSlam would be added to that list.
I was trying not to put SummerSlam in there, but I can see where it would. But I mean, if you just look at simply just how good WrestleMania was in totality this past weekend, of course you can put it on ESPN. You put it on ESPN Plus, and cool. I might lose those 1,000 people that's got that pay that $4.99 for Peacock, but I'm gonna gain. If I gain 600 people that pay that $50 on ESPN Plus, I'm upping my revenue. That's kind of how we have to we not we think about it, but the casual fan like, man, I ain't paying $50 for that. I do it for the UFC fights all the time. I do. If it's a good card, if it's a good UFC card, I do it.
At where I'm at now in life, I'm willing to pay it. Now, 15 years ago, nah, I wouldn't pay it. But now,
exactly,
I do it. It ain't nothing to put $50 to the side and leave it in your account.
Years ago, you didn't have a job to pay $50 for it. Shut up.
Oh man. So all right, so now that we have gotten all of our WWE talk essentially knocked out, I wanted to pivot because something happened before the show, probably about an hour before the show, that I caught, and I was like, oh, I got to add this to the show just because it was dope. So I was on IGN's Facebook page, and they posted this picture and said that a new live-action Street Fighter movie is in the works. I was like, I ain't seen that movie since, 1998?
Okay, well, I guess.
I watched the one that came out a few years ago. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
The one that was damn near low budget?
That was almost as bad as the Dragon Ball movie? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one.
I did not watch it. It was so bad. I just couldn't. The fact when you made it live action, you automatically, I told you I wasn't watching it.
You did.
Now, if they revisit that ever again, you've got to bring in the director and crew that did Shang-Chi. That's the only way I'll watch it.
Hey, he pretty hot right now. He got 3 projects coming up right now.
Yeah. He's talking about Chun-Li. So, however you spell, yeah, he's talking about Chun-Li.
It's CHUN space LI, man.
From the video game days. So,
man, before y'all move on, let me comment on this, okay? Leave these damn video game movies alone, bro. The live, there still now. There hasn't been one great adaptation of a video game movie. There isn't one. There hasn't.
Hey, hold on now. Mortal Kombat was lit.
It was a solid 6 for me.
It was ahead of its time when it came out.
Good. Sonic the Hedgehog wasn't good.
No, Sonic. First of all, Sonic is not a fighting game.
Oh, all right.
It's an adventure
I'm
game.
talking about like the Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about.
Mortal Kombat, I'll get out on a solid 7, 8.
That shit was a solid 6, maybe a 5.5. That shit was garbage.
You talking about the old one or the new one?
Both of them. And don't even get me started on Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Garbage. Number one, they should have just remade the original Mortal Kombat and just got the Miz to play Johnny Cage. I'm not gonna lie to you, that would have been fucking epic.
No, that'd have been trash.
But regardless, I mean, he just embodies the Johnny Cage thing.
No. I've watched the Marine. I don't like him as an actor. I've seen the Marine. I don't like him as an actor.
I would have rather that than the trash they put out. The Mortal Kombat movie.
I thought it was a good movie. Like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. The story, it was a good movie.
That shit was garbage. No, I'm sorry. That shit was garbage. Till this day. Now the cartoon movies, yes, because Scorpion's Revenge was an absolute 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was made by DC Comics, by the way.
You can't compare adaptations of animated movies to we're talking about live action right now.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying animated movies is an absolute yes, because you can make it look like the game. The live action, on the other hand, they got to do too much to make up a story and things like that and make it more believable. And the older I get, the more this whole thing of I'm about to make a word, the believability. I know that's not a real word, but that's the best way I can describe it. The believability is trash. The guy that played Liu Kang in the new Mortal Kombat movie, hot garbage. I mean, like it was bad. Like it wasn't worse than the first 2 Mortal Kombat movies.
I'm about to say I've seen considerably. Given what we already had, like I thought it was fine for an introductory build movie because they can at least there's room to expand on this movie.
Right, but here's my problem, and Joseph has heard me say this before. And this is something I hang my head on a lot. Not all progress is good progress. Just because you were better than the last don't mean you're good. And that's my whole thing. Yes, it was better than Annihilation. And yes, it was better than the first Mortal Kombat movie. But was it a good movie? Absolutely not. It was just better than the first 2. So like to me, it's just like it's one of them things where it's like Dragon Ball, and it's like just leave it alone.
Let's not talk about that movie.
I was never gonna watch that.
Up there in the worst movies of all time, right?
No, probably is the worst movie of all time. But at least, like I said, I did not have a problem with the new Mortal Kombat movie. Like I really didn't, because I thought to go off your other point, it was definitely better than the other 2 because the first one was funnier. First one was definitely funnier. But Annihilation was just hot dog water. It was hot dog water. And like I said, I enjoyed the newer one because at least you got characters that we should have already had in the Mortal Kombat movies. There's no reason that we shouldn't have had Kung Lao in the movie already. Like, to be able to see all that. Yeah, like those characters are the ones that we all can relate to. So now you can really build on this story. And the fact that Johnny Cage wasn't in this movie made it that much of a bigger deal, because now it gives everybody something to gravitate towards. It's just like, okay, you say that, but did you watch the Uncharted movie?
No, I didn't watch Uncharted.
That movie, that was a great adaptation of video game to live action, because if you ever played the Uncharted games, first of all, Uncharted is one of the greatest PlayStation games of all time, point blank period, as far as the story and the way the game looks and the fact that it looks like a fucking movie when you're playing the game. Is hard to beat. So they were able, and it's hard. And of course, you had Mark Wahlberg playing Sonny, and then you had Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake, which I didn't like it at first because Nathan Drake looks like a bigger guy and Tom Holland looks like he weighs 140 pounds. Like, that's how he looks. Nathan Drake, like, he about 210. And Tom Holland it was hard for me to believe. He was a more believable Spider-Man because Spider-Man was always a smaller guy anyway. But Nathan Drake, different story. Nathan Drake actually had muscles and shit in the video game.
Well, like back to the point I was telling telling y'all just a while ago. My biggest thing on it was like games like Uncharted, games with actual storylines. I don't have a problem with them making a live action story about. Like, I'm not a Tomb Raider guy, but the Tomb Raider films weren't horrible. They were okay. You know what I'm saying? With Angelina Jolie. But
that one was a little bit different.
But the fighting games with no storyline and basically just background to arcade, and you're trying to make up a story to make it make sense, is where I draw the line. Street Fighter, Tekken, unless it's animated. Obviously, Tekken animated is fucking fire.
Tekken animated show on Netflix was fire.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Tekken show on Netflix is pretty good too. But I mean, that's the outlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the fighting games with no storyline already, and you got to make up a storyline for the story to make sense to people that actually game and know the actual. They follow what the developers say, and then they just hire some director to come in and try and write a movie based on what the developers say. It doesn't turn out that good. Like, why do you think Dead or Alive or Soul Calibur hasn't been made into a movie? It can't be.
Soul Calibur absolutely can. You know why? Because movies like Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts and Percy Jackson exist. That's exactly why you can make it into a movie.
That's not what I mean by that. But again, these are like straight arcade games. Exactly. That's Moo hit it on it. Like, they're not storyline based games. Even if you play,
Soul Calibur is a storyline based game. There's an entire story. It's about Soul Edge. It's the whole game.
Soul Calibur is not a good. Okay, a good enough storyline to make a movie. Soul Calibur is not. It's not.
Fair enough. I went off your point. You said it wasn't a story. I was like, no, there's absolutely a story because that's why we played the game. But
there's a story too. But when I mean like a story, is like you sit there and you like Zelda would make sense to make a live action because there's a whole story, different stages and things like that. Soul Calibur is not like that. Yes, there's a story, but it's not a story. You follow like a story game. It's not like
those are two different classifications of games too. That's an adventure game versus a fighting game. There's two different
right, but
genres.
Right, that's the point I'm making. Fighting games don't need to be made into story movies because they haven't been good. The fighting games is what I was trying to get to. Fighting games. That's why I said arcade games at first. They're
all arcade games. Even Zelda was an arcade game.
I said arcade, but I meant fighting games. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just couldn't think of the word at the time. Fighting games are not good story or are not good stories. They're just not. They make sense in on the game. They don't make sense when you try to make a movie. Like,
I just think the right director hasn't come along yet. I think they can be if they done if somebody actually does the legwork. I think it can be done.
Like,
I don't think it's easy. I definitely don't think it's easy. 100% is not easy, but I do think it can be done.
I think the biggest problem is most of the fighting games now have storylines that have been going on for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And to try and fit 5 years of backstory in an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours, it's damn near impossible. Because
you're not wrong, but I'll give you a prime example of one. A story for Mortal Kombat. We'll go back to Mortal Kombat. I'll give you one story that they absolutely could have adapted into a movie. The last Mortal Kombat game that came out, because the story of Chronica made way too much sense. It was a phenomenal game. You literally have the person that controls time and reality that can make you go back and forth through time. That's an actual story that can be developed into a movie that's about, let's say 2 hours and 5 minutes. Let's play that game. Because you have your main characters. You're not what?
So I'm not against that one.
But that's what I'm saying. It just hasn't been done yet, but it can be done. And the reason I said it, because in the first, let's say 30 minutes of that movie, you can solely stick to character development. Bring all these characters together. We know the characters. There's not like an introduction you need for each of these characters, but bring your main characters in, and then boom, for the rest of that movie, kick the story off. And then boom, you've got a successful film. I'm not a director. I'm not a producer, but if you're going to catch the attention of people, you have to take out the nonsense, which the nonsense is, of course, all the cutscene fighting, like you see in a fighting game. But if you ever get on YouTube, I have to send it to you one day. They did one where they took just the cutscenes of the story itself, and it was a phenomenal story. If you take out the fighting and just talk about the story, like it's actually a phenomenal story. So I think it can be adapted into a movie, but I said the right director producer combo has not come along to put it together yet.
On the flip side of that, also, I think they overdo it in trying to reach and live off the name and popularity what it is, and then they try to draw in. They're trying so hard to draw in other people that's what Marvel was good at. Whether you read comics or not, you were into Marvel movies, and Marvel hit the nail on the head. So, comic book movies, fighting game movies haven't been able to do that yet. They haven't been because their characters aren't popularized. Like, my mom don't watch no damn Transformers. She knew who Transformers was.
My mom knows. My mom was a Transformers junkie. My mom put me on Transformers and Beast Wars, for that matter.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like a lot of people don't watch. A lot of people don't play games.
True, but you have something as successful as how Ninja Turtles was. That's an action. That's a fighting game that was transformed into a movie.
Yeah,
there's been multiple fighting games of Ninja Turtles.
It was also a comic, and a lot of people did read comics back in the day, so that doesn't count because it was a comic first. It was a comic first, so it doesn't count.
Mike, you said what I was finna say.
Yeah, it don't count because it was comic book first. So Ninja Turtle, because it was definitely a comic for years upon years upon years before it got adapted into a fighting game. And I'll say comic books have been pretty good, and even the trash ass Superman in the '90s with the guy that's in the Arrow, the guy that plays Ray Palmer, I forget his name. I
know, yeah.
But like I said, comic books are a little bit different because a lot of people read a lot more people read comic books, read comic books back in the day than play games now.
But this generation absolutely don't read comic books.
Yeah.
Because the fact that Black Panther was new to so many people told me they didn't read comics. The fact that the first time you ever saw Doctor Strange was in a movie, or the first time you ever saw Scarlet Witch was in a movie, or the first time you ever saw Ant-Man, which we talked about that, is in a movie, tells me you didn't do a lot of reading back then. Because these characters have all been around. These characters have been around for a very long time.
But on the flip side of that, with comics, when you do a comic book movie, you're not necessarily building a new story. You're pulling what you want to pull from every comic and every writer of that comic and making it into one big on-screen continuous story.
And that's what failed with Batman versus Superman. They pulled from too many comics, and that's why people just didn't understand.
I would beg to differ. What failed on that is that they threw Batman Superman in our face, and it wasn't built accordingly.
Facts.
That movie should not have come out when it came out. It shouldn't have. That movie should have came out really and truly after Justice League, but you should have already had your characters established first. Batman Superman could have easily have come out after Justice League movie came out because the fact that you even brought Wonder Woman into the mix with all of it was dumb. Literally DC built everything backwards.
Yeah. Like
you threw the Justice League at us, but we didn't have a Flash movie, a Cyborg movie, a Batman. We had a Batman, a Superman, and a Wonder Woman film. That was it. We had something of a Green Lantern film, but
that's exactly why Marvel worked out the way it did.
Well, they also did in phases.
First Avengers. With the first Avengers, that's exactly why it worked out the way it did. Because you had all the solo movies.
Well, you did, except we didn't have Hawkeye and Black Widow, but we didn't need them because they weren't.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get their solo shows until phase 3 of Marvel. Again,
they weren't A-list. They're not A-list superheroes though. So
no, they're not. I'm just speaking in general. But when Justice League came out, we like the Wonder Woman movie. It was, right.
Yeah.
And then 1984 was absolutely trash. I hated that movie. I hated it. That might have been the worst. That might have been the worst one out of all of them. Yeah. I hated that one. That Wonder Woman movie was bad because the first one was actually pretty good. No, I hated it, and I don't hate a lot of things. I hated it.
I just was like, oh.
I would rather watch Superman Returns again than watch that movie.
The first Wonder Woman was really good. The second one was hot garbage.
the first Wonder Woman was like, I thought, all right, DC doing something. I was like, all right, and then you dropped that shit. Like you shit the bed on that one.
Well,
I
Marvel
hope they don't
runs
drop the
the
ball with
Marvel
Patterson.
runs the Marvel runs the cinematic universe. DC runs the animated universe.
Facts.
The television, because that TV shows are fire.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
I just pray, I hope and pray to God that they don't drop the ball with Robert Pattinson as Batman.
I haven't, you know.
I mean,
I don't know.
He has potential. He has potential to be a great Batman.
I told you before the movie came out, because you were like, Robert Pattinson ain't the choice, blah blah blah, and I was like, no, he's the perfect choice. They just got to do it right. I told you that. I told you he was.
I was like, man, I said the motherfucker from Vampire Diaries, really?
So it wasn't Vampire Diaries, by the way. It was
my bad.
It was Twilight. But even before all that, well, after all that, excuse me, I had watched him in another movie because most people, you never get to see people act in other movies. You only know him for being a sparkling ass vampire.
Yeah.
But you got to check him out in The Lighthouse, though.
That's the one I watched.
William Dafoe. Him and William Dafoe. Yeah. That was actually where you were like, all right, Robert Pattinson actually has a range, if you will.
Yeah, he can act. He's good.
Yeah, he can. It's just, but when you don the mantle of a superhero, doesn't matter which one, there's a certain level that comes with it. Like just like how we debate for the rest of time, we will always debate who the best Joker was, because there's multiple that were really good.
Let's not do that today.
No, we're not doing that today. I'm just saying, and the same can be said about Batman. Same can be said about James Bond. These are iconic characters that have been played by multiple actors that, depending on what era you're from, you may argue in one favor or the other. Or if you're like us and you've watched them all and you're like, all right, let me be unbiased and objective. I prefer this person over this person. Like, Batman is an iconic role.
I prefer Christian. Anyway, let's not.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, I thought he was going to say he preferred George Clooney.
Boy, you crazy in the hole if you think I prefer George
Clooney over Christian.
You crazy in the hole.
Oh, stop the cap on that one, but all right.
Stop it.
All right.
I have to fight. I'll fight you
right now.
I am ready for that James Bond argument. I am ready.
Elba will be the best James Bond and they let him do it.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it'd be the best one.
I'm saying he'll be the best.
Who?
He's saying Idris Elba will be the best one.
He could be up there, but I wouldn't say he'd be the best.
Are you going Sean Connery? Is that what you're going to do?
That's a tough debate.
Roger Moore all day.
That's a tough debate.
Sean Connery is my number 2.
I don't know, man. I was a fan of what Daniel Craig did. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I'm a big fan of Daniel. You know what?
Daniel Craig might be my number 1, if I'm being honest, and it might be Pierce Bronson might be my number 2.
Pierce Bronson, old boy from the 90s, right?
Yes.
The 90s and all the way up until like 2003, I think.
Yeah, he was legit.
The world is not enough. The Golden Eye is not enough. Is Pierce Bronson. Here's what I was
not enough fire.
Daniel Craig. Even if you don't think he's the best James Bond, he's definitely the best actor to play James Bond.
Yeah, I think he elevated the persona of James Bond because
he's all his own stunts.
Casino Royale was really good, but then Quantum of Solace had probably the best story.
It did.
Like the story of Quantum of Solace was phenomenal, but the movie for Casino, because he was, say, hey, let me get a martini. He was shaken, not stirred. That shit was fire with the tuxedo. Like, that shit was dope. But then, of course,
The World Is Not Enough is my favorite James Bond game, but Quantum of Solace is my favorite James Bond movie. Period.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace was it was like you at first, and then Skyfall was good too, though. Like, we're not gonna pretend like Skyfall wasn't really good. Of course, Adele doing that soundtrack. Of course, I knew where he was going. We was on the same page with that one.
Yeah,
but I think Daniel Craig definitely elevated the James Bond. I think he put the heat on. Like, whoever has to follow him has a lot of work to do. I'm not saying that Idris Elba can't do it, but Daniel Craig set the bar pretty well. And he had a lot of other projects he was doing while he was doing James Bond that, he just continued to expand on what he was doing. Because I'll tell you who I thought at one point would have been a really good James Bond, but a lot of his movies are all the same. And I thought Jason Statham.
I swear to, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's the transporter though. That's the
transporter. We know that. Just like that's also why I had his name. Ian Neeson could never do it. We know him as that's Qui-Gon Jinn, and that's Taken. That's it. That's who we know you at. Like him playing James Bond. I wouldn't be able to see past those two characters.
I got a set of skills.
Yeah, like I feel like he would say that shit in a tuxedo too. Talking to a female, I got a particular set of skills. Come up to my hotel room where you can see what's up.
Hey, look, damn, we've been on this thing an hour 20 minutes. So you know what? Let's talk about this. Jay, you know this motion right here as you can't see me for John Cena. But let's get to it, man. Caitlin, shut up. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese had their matchup. They had their showdown. Obviously, LSU and Angel Reese won this matchup. I never thought this game was in question. I thought from the get-go that LSU was going to win. I never had a doubt in my mind that LSU was going to win. Caitlin Clark did ball out though, so shout out to her.
She did. I thought LSU and South Carolina would have been just as fire because they matched up better size-wise. But it was still nice to see Iowa being like that. Iowa kind of played that role like when Steph Curry was with Davidson. Yeah. Small school, which Iowa's not a small school, but you know what I'm saying. Like a smaller school that's not very known. Like we don't know Iowa as a women's basketball powerhouse. That's not a thing. We know this already. But they made a run.
I don't know what Iowa is in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what city Iowa is in.
Hey, I'm just saying that's where Big E went though. But what I didn't like, I love first of all, that Final Four, the women's Final Four, was absolutely phenomenal. Game changer. Stole the show. It was great.
Way better than the men's.
But
I will say the championship game wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. But
it was a blowout.
The Elite Eight going into the championship game on the women's side was absolute fire.
Oh yeah, no, the Elite Eight was great.
One of those 8 teams could have won. That's how good the 8 teams.
But the argument can be made. The men wasn't too far off from that. Like if you go when you and I talked about it last week, the Sweet 16, you probably had, I'm gonna say 11 teams that could have done it. And then you go to the Elite Eight, any of them 8 could have pulled it off at that time.
I will tell you this. I'm going to give you your props. Even though San Diego State didn't win, you said you would not be surprised. You said the Sweet 16, you would not be surprised if it came down to San Diego State and UConn. And that's exactly what it did. It came out to San Diego State and
UConn is they were the most complete team. We talked about that, and it was the proof was there.
Shout out to Angel Reese. I can't remember the guy's name from UConn, but one of the guys that played for UConn is Angel Reese's cousin, and they both won the championship. The whole "you can't see me" thing, and Angel Reese. You know what? It's basketball. It's sports, bro. Let me tell you, I need people to get off their little. So she's a sore winner and this and that, and but none of y'all weren't saying that shit when Caitlin Clark did it, so I don't want to hear it now.
Uncle Sharp said it. Uncle Sharp said that exact same thing. My whole thing is like you said, it's sports. People gonna talk shit.
Bruh,
you can't get mad when one person do it, and then a few games later, it gets done to them.
Nah, fuck that. You gotta take this to it. Let's peel back the curtain. Hold on, we gotta peel back the curtain because the problem is, and you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna read it to you because when I saw it, I was mad, but I had to save it. So whenever we was talking about it, so I'm gonna read this to y'all, and then I want y'all to give me y'all thoughts after the fact. So we're gonna be a little controversial. No, this ain't the real talk, but we're gonna be a little controversial in this case. But what it simply says is, if you're white, you're a fierce competitor. If you're black, you're a classless piece of shit. If you're white, you're tough and hard-nosed. If you're black, you're a thug. If you spent 15 minutes around sports, you know the discrepancy well. Hell, it's why the celebration penalty was invented. Caitlin Clark has been doing this for the last 2 years, all perfectly fine, all a part of the game, and she was celebrated as the female Larry Bird. She drew thousands to watch her, myself included. I thought she was great. All people around the country, from casual fans to sport reporters, celebrities, celebrated her brash, cocky style of play. But she got it handed back to her today. And if you're sitting around seething like a child because somebody returned gestures like this, take this opportunity to ask yourself why that is. Why was it so fun and funny and awesome when Clark did it, but it was so enraging and shameful and unsportsmanlike when Reese returned it? Why? And when you answer that honestly, take that realization and apply it to the rest of your life and the lens through which you view all of the world. Maybe ask why a little more often.
Okay.
Who said it?
Who wrote
Boosie
that?
said it. Larry
Who wrote
Bird,
that?
come get your daughter. Larry Bird, come get your daughter.
It was I took it off of somebody on Facebook. I have to find the page again. I just had screenshotted it and took it. But
I thought a journalist or somebody wrote that, but absolutely they hit the nail on the head.
Because it's true.
Hit the nail on the head, bro. Let me tell y'all something, okay? As you know, me and this asshole next to me on the screen, not the one below us, the asshole next to me on the screen.
I thought you were talking about that one.
Oh, no, not the one below us. The asshole on the screen next to me. If you've listened to any of our Gentleman Talk shows on Spotify leading up to right now, in fantasy, when we play against each other, bruh, there is no holds barred here. Like when I play him in basketball, by the way, fuck you because you won last week and knocked me out the damn championship game, you little bitch. That's how it goes. It goes just like that, bruh. We're all competitive. When the game is done, you have the choice to either shake my hand or not. You don't shake my hand, I'm gonna make you suffer the next year and the next year and the next year until you finally shake my freaking hand. Michael Jordan lost to the Pistons and shook their hands every time, but the minute the Bulls finally won, what did Detroit do?
Not shake them hands.
But who's the sore winners here?
Yeah, my thing is like this. Here's my thing. I'm gonna call it closet racism because that's really what it is. Because we celebrate when Caitlin does these things like that, and then all of a sudden, Reese does it, and it was like, oh, because she was a little more extra about it. But it was more than that. All people saw was, oh, that she did this. That's not actually what triggered Reese to do what she did. It actually was when Caitlin Clark waved off the girl in the South Carolina game is what actually triggered it, because she was sitting in the stands watching the game. If you go look at these interviews, Reese was in the stands because, of course, they all played in the same arena. And she watched the game, and she saw how she waved that girl off the one they ended up shooting them threes at the end of that game. And she said that level of disrespect ain't going to fly in this championship game. You're not going to be able to play defense like that in this championship game. And it was true. Because LSU, yes, Reese balled out, but we ain't going to forget about the fact that there was a freshman that played for LSU in that game that dropped 6 threes. She was on their head.
And you know what? Something that gets lost because of all the controversy. What's the I forgot the LSU women's coach name.
Coach Mulkey, man, put some respect on Coach Mulkey's name.
Coach Mulkey team from 2 years ago that missed the NCAA tournament and they weren't good. They missed the NCAA tournament and they were in NIT and got eliminated in the first round. Yeah. And
Reese wasn't there because Reese was at Maryland.
Right. And took a team of transfers. Bro, it was like 3 people that transferred to LSU. Took a team of transfers that nobody wanted and took them to the promised land. Coach Mulkey deserves all the respect. LSU deserves all the respect.
Boom. Bam. Imagine if Reese and man, if her and Raven Johnson would have been on South Carolina together, hey, they might have challenged UConn for that record, man, because boy, Raven Johnson was a monster in the tournament too.
Yep.
So you ready for your favorite time?
Oh, I'm ready for my favorite time. Let's go.
Oh, DJ Micah B, lead us off and tell us about our dumbass millionaire that you came across.
So today on Dumbass Millionaires, the newest segment that we have added. Why are you laughing, Joseph? Because you know
Here.
the newest segment we have added to our show is Dumbass Millionaires. It's a staple and it is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what's going on. We searched the web for stories of athletes or whoever, millionaires just doing the nonchalant, the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So this week on Dumbass Millionaires, we have a baseball player. Not only is he a baseball player, he is a well-known baseball player. And he goes by the name of Anthony Rendon. I don't know which one of y'all have seen the video.
I've seen the video.
I know you've seen the video. And this is no way, shape, or form to excuse the fan behavior. Fan called him out of his name. He was talking shit. Anthony Rendon got mad and swung. But, I mean, the fan moved out the way. And he barely missed punching. He barely missed punching this guy.
Not quite the Ron Artest treatment.
Anthony Rendon should be counting his blessings above that he did not hit this fan. You are today's dumbass millionaire because you cannot let a fan piss you off so much that you would go grab them by the shirt and swing to try and punch them. Are you crazy? You have a contract for well over $150 million over the next 7 years. What are you doing?
Being a dumbass? Now listen, if I'm gonna make if I'm a baseball player, we know they got them and hockey got like the highest, most guaranteed contracts. Listen, if I got 150 mil, I'm hiring a security guard or a bodyguard in that matter, excuse me. So one of them fans do some fuck shit. Hey, Big Larry, you want to take care of that for me real quick? Like, I'm not finna touch you. Like, I'm not finna do it. Like, I know that this money now has given me what we call generational wealth. And I know that my family is taken care of well after I'm done playing sports. Why would I jeopardize that with a lawsuit? If I would have hit that man and it connected, he's finna sue for millions, not for thousands, not for hundreds. He's gonna sue for millions because for some reason we look at celebrities and regular people as two different people, even though it's not the case. Assault is assault. I don't care how you look at it. That's just what it is. But when there's millions involved, or a millionaire and a not so millionaire involved, I can get paid. I can get the bag. No, because I'm gonna flip side this real quick. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Fans, keep your fucking hands to yourself and watch what you say. Because you don't know, like I said, we talked about this with John Morant and we talked about this with a couple other people. You don't know where some of these cats is from. Like when we talked about it with Bradley Beal, like if you ever looked at Bradley Beal's story, Bradley Beal ain't from a nice place.
Nah.
Like you don't know where some of these cats is from, so you can't just be talking sideways to some of these cats. You just can't. Because sometimes being a millionaire doesn't make you better. Sometimes it just makes you more of what you already are. Shout out to Shannon Sharp for that.
Man, the Sharp, boy, I know them words.
Uncle Sharp.
So if you was from the hood and you was quick to swing on somebody without having millions, what do you think is going to happen when you have millions? Because you already feel untouchable. And then somebody come at you sideways. How you think you going to react? The same way you would as if you was in the hood in the first place. You're going to try to knock somebody's block off. But these fans got to remember, these athletes, these actors, all these people, they're regular people. We just forget all of a sudden because we see them on screen or we go to an arena and see them that they're more than that. I'm like, hold on, time out. These are regular human beings. Goat, what's happening?
Go.
Oh, man, you ain't never late, man. You right on time, man. We always appreciate you coming through, man. The GOAT, one of our favorite fans, man. We always appreciate you being here. But like we said, though, like, I want my fans to just calm down. Like, be happy that you're at the arena, seeing your favorite athletes, seeing your favorite team, seeing your favorite movie, whatever the case might be. But don't go out there acting an ass because, like with the Bradley Beal situation, oh, you lost a bet. Okay. You chose to put that kind of money up. First of all, you realize it is when you bet, it's a gamble. It's not a guarantee. It's a gamble.
That boy said Sin Cara.
Oh my God!
That boy said Sin Cara.
I'm not messing with you today,
Hey, Dicky, my bad, G. But listen, that shit took me out, dog. I couldn't go without saying shit.
That boy said Sin Cara.
Oh man, he was on Sin Cara last week too when we was talking about WrestleMania, man. Oh man. Hey, it wouldn't be a show without the GOAT having one of them hilarious ass takes.
Oh
Man.
shit.
We got to get you live on one of the shows, man. Like we got to get you live on one of the shows, GOAT. It'd be great to have you, man. So we definitely got to get that rocking and rolling. So you got one of them crosses ready for us, or you want to?
Oh, you know, I could have something, you know. Of course, ready. Let's get it.
I know y'all got to be loving this music. Told y'all we had some changes coming. We got videos for everything. So DJ Micah B, get us with this crossover.
Joseph, I told you earlier I was going to need your help with this one. I'm pretty sure you can answer this part. Jeremy also told you.
He said send a link whenever I'm ready. Bet
Shit.
that.
All right. So, bet that. So this week we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to him real quick, Jay. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all. We're gonna talk to him. All right. So let me ask Joseph. I'm gonna ask you a question, right?
All right.
If there was a team up, and there's been a team up, I'm pretty sure there has been. I'm not deep in the comments like you guys are, but if there's been a team up of Batman, Aquaman, and Superman, and you ranked these characters 1 through 3, where are you going?
All right. Am I basing this off of favoritism or off of?
We're basing this off of who you think is the best.
All right. Batman number 1, Aquaman number 3, Superman number 2.
That man said 1, 3, 2. God damn.
I said
Batman, Superman, Aquaman. Where you going?
Give me Batman, give me Superman, give me Aquaman.
Okay. How about this one here? If you watch DC, you know the DC universe on CW, you know this one. You had a team up. Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, rank them 1 through 3.
Damn.
Give me Flash, Arrow, Supergirl.
Same thing.
All right. And finally, the one I asked you about, Joseph. Meanwhile, these people never teamed up. They've all donned the same cape, if you want to call it that.
All right.
We got Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. Rank them. Let's go.
Wait. I need to know, are we basing this off who's the best, Robin or both?
You're basing it on who you think ranks higher.
Damian Wayne, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and then Jason Todd.
Give me Damian, give me Jason Todd, give me Tim Drake. And then damn, I forget his name. We were just talking about him. The other one.
Tim Drake?
Yeah.
All right. See, the reason why I did that is because today in the crossover, we are talking about super team ups like we've never talked about them before. Here's what's going on. I'm going to give you 3 names in the NBA world. They teamed up. There has never, normally what happens is both people agree on, or everybody normally agrees on either the best one or the third one, the one that ranks last.
Okay.
But either the first 2 or the last 2, we always have some discrepancies here. Jay, I don't know how deep you are into basketball, so you really ain't got to answer nothing unless you really absolutely know. No disrespect, you know what I'm saying? I know you're not into sports like me and GQ are, but here's what we're going to call it. Crossover team-ups is what we're going to do today. GQ, I'm going to give you 3 people that were on a team together. You're going to rank them 1 through 3. I'm going to give you my 1 through 3, and we're going to see where we're different, and we're going to talk about it.
Let's get it.
So let's start off with some easy ones. Okay, I think these are easy. Let's start off with the Lakers. Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich.
Give me that order.
That's the order I have too. I don't think
give
there's
me
no
that order.
Or just because I don't know who the last one is.
Oh, Gail Goodrich. If you're not a basketball fan, I don't expect you to know, but you're gonna know these three: Barkley, Pippen, Olajuwon. Run it. And oh, by the way, we're talking about all of them at their peak, not when they were not the time they were playing together.
Barkley, Olajuwon, Pippen.
Yes, sir.
Give me Olajuwon. Give me Barkley. Then give me Pippen.
I got Olajuwon, Barkley, Pippen.
So we got the same.
Well, I would only change that and put Pippen over Barkley, but
Woo.
I can't do it.
Now,
I can't put him
I'm
not
gonna
over
be
Sir
100
Charles.
with
I can't do
y'all.
it.
My dad would actually go with y'all's pick.
Yeah, I think your dad would be
Barkley
right.
is one of his favorite basketball players of all time.
Yeah, but I think your dad is right. You guys got to start acknowledging Sin Cara instead of Roman. Sin Cara never botched. Shut up. Okay. All right. So that was the first two to make sure y'all understand the rules. I picked some easy ones there. Obviously, I thought it was some easy ones until Joseph came with the nonsense that Pippen should be over Barkley for some damn reason.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Starting at number 6, a team that is going to be hard to rank. G, I'm telling you. Here we go. Mike Bibby, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, a big three in Sacramento that took the Lakers to 7 games. Run it.
Give me Mike Bibby. Give me Stojakovic, and then give me Vlade Divac.
Okay.
Because at that time, having a player on your team like a Stojakovic, essentially a 3-point sniper, was a luxury. Not everybody had him. That's the only reason I put him over Divac. Everybody had a big who could give you a double-double, and that's pretty much what Vlade Divac was.
Okay.
I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All
right, Jay Bear. Appreciate you coming through, dog.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Speaking of this, while we're in the middle of this, do not forget tomorrow, players versus team with the girl Zamora.
Yes, sir.
From the sidelines.
It's going to be a great show. Make sure y'all check out From the Sidelines. We are on every major streaming platform. We on Spotify, Apple Music. We on iHeartRadio for the audio game. We on Prime Music. We anywhere you catch your podcast from, you can catch us. You can catch the Monday show. You can catch us on Wednesdays. We live every Wednesday. You can catch Player versus Team tomorrow. You can catch the football show on Friday. We live. We here. Hey, y'all better get with it because when we take off, we ain't going to be looking in that rearview mirror.
Big facts. So let's keep it going. Number 5. Here's another good one. I don't think this one is that much controversial, but you never know. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. Maybe it is a little controversy.
Give me Steph, KD, Klay.
Whoo! Again, and here's where it is. It's never the problem always lands with either who's number 1 or who's number 3. It's never who's in the middle. I am also going with Curry over Durant and then Thompson. I thought we would differ there, but obviously not. Here's a tough one, okay? Hear me out. We're going to go to, let me see. Pull me up since he left. I'm joking, LOL. Oh, my God. Okay. Here's another one. Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, Reggie Miller. Yeah, there it is.
So
that's
Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, and Ron Artest?
Yep.
Give me Jermaine O'Neal. Give me Reggie Miller at 3. And give me Ron Artest at 2.
Yes, somebody understands. You already know how I feel about Reggie Miller. At their peaks, because all 3 of them were really at their peak in Indiana, really and truly.
Oh no, 100%.
O'Neal was a 2010 guy. Ron Artest is a DPOY. Reggie Miller never finished top 10 in MVP voting.
Hell yeah, that exact Pacers team.
Yeah. Well, we know it was just
We'll
it
never
was
forget Malice at the Palace. I was watching that game at my great granny house live when that shit happened.
Speaking of the Pistons, number 3, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace. I'm leaving Tayshaun Prince off. So okay, so
Right, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace. Wait, and you said did you left off Tayshaun Prince and left Rip Hamilton, right?
yeah,
Rip Hamilton at 4.
I am going Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, and then Rasheed Wallace.
We're only different on 2.
Rasheed. God damn it. I don't think any way you rank these 4. The problem is neither one of them were over the top great. So it was more like a however you arrange them, you arrange them. I don't think okay, Big Ben, Billups. Yeah, that's what I said too. Big Ben, Billups, Rip, and then Rasheed. Yeah, that's the same thing I said. Here's one. And a lot of people might be like, this is stupid, but I like this one. Magic, Kareem, and Worthy. All of them won a final while they were together. Every single one of them.
I'm gonna say Kareem, Magic, Worthy.
And for me, I'm also going to say Kareem, Magic, Worthy. I thought the difference would have came in whether it was Magic over Kareem or Kareem over Magic.
It's not for me because at the very beginning of Magic's career without Kareem, I think the trajectory of Magic's career is different.
Right.
Being able to learn from somebody like that changed what like Magic was always going to be great. That part was never going to be, questioned. But without Cap, I do think his career is a little bit different. That's why I put him over Magic, because he had already come into this as a Laker, but he had already won a championship prior to coming to the Lakers, so he was already established. If that makes sense, Magic was Magic was one of the hottest, rookies coming into the league. Obviously, him and Larry Bird. We know the story. We don't have to get all into that.
Magic and Larry Bird were the 2 hottest rookies coming in since Kareem. So yeah. I also went that way too.
Still to this day, might be 2 of the hottest rookies to ever come into the NBA together.
I think Magic, Kareem, LeBron, and Bird are probably the 4 hottest rookies to ever come in the NBA.
I was talking about like pairs.
Yeah, but I'm just saying overall, forever, Magic, Kareem, and Bird, I think are the 4 hottest ever built off of hype. Here we go. Number 2, because we did. I added one in, but number 2, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, Garnett, Allen.
I am going because we're taking them at their peak, obviously.
Yeah.
So because taking them at the peak and at the prime, I'm going Garnett, Pierce, and then Ray Allen. Ray Allen is only last because he only went so far. He only got to the conference finals in a weak Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And then Paul Pierce has the advantage because he never went West until he got to the Clippers.
And I'm not surprised you went with Garnett over Pierce just because I know how you think, so I'm not surprised by that at all.
I went with Garnett over Pierce because Garnett actually got to the conference finals in the West when you had to at least win 50 games to get in.
I mean, and it's not like Pierce didn't ever make a lot. Pierce made a lot of noise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like being almost at one point, he was. I mean, most of his career he was the focal point of the Celtics.
No disrespect at all to Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is a freaking monster.
Not at all. Only disrespect when he says he had a better career than Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's major cap, by the
way. Speaking of that, I think Kevin Garnett is the only person on that list that has any way, shape, or form to be anywhere near Dwayne Wade on the all-time rank.
I'll give you that.
I do think Kevin Garnett is one of the top 5 power forwards of all time, whereas I believe Ray Allen and Paul Pierce aren't a top 5 as shooting guard or small forward. I just noticed the video, the title of the video, and describe night 2 of WrestleMania perfectly. Oh, thanks. Appreciate you, bro.
I'm glad somebody caught that.
And last but not least, this is going to be a good one because I think this is the best. This is the best example of a team up that didn't win a championship, but it's going to be hard to rank them. We are going to the Bay Area.
All right.
And we're going to go to Run TMC. Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and Mitch Richmond. Who ranks above who?
Give me Hardaway, give me Mullin, give me Mitch after.
I went Chris Mullin first. Yeah, I went Chris Mullin first. It was the last 2 that was giving me problems. I'm going Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, and Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, I like Tim Hardaway's game, and giving off the criteria, it wasn't easy to name him as number 1, but it made the most sense.
I do think Tim Hardaway had very good success in the NBA. But my biggest
you could argue that Mullin definitely had more success. I mean,
right. I think Chris Mullin for sure should be number 1 on this list. I think Tim and Mitch are interchangeable for the simple fact that once Mitch left Golden State, he never played with another All-Star for the most part.
And that's when things changed, is when he left Golden State.
And Tim Hardaway left and went to Miami and had Alonzo Mourning. And they did make some noise, but they weren't good enough to make it past Michael Jordan. It is what it is. They just weren't.
That's the story of a lot of people in the East at that time.
But Alonzo Mourning, I'm not Alonzo Mourning. Tim Hardaway before he went to Miami. God damn it, what team was he on? I was just looking this up. But everybody knows Tim Hardaway for the double cross.
Yeah.
They said his left to right and right to left was so unstoppable. And they knew it was coming. They still couldn't do nothing about it. So I put Mitch Richmond over New York, wasn't it? Huh?
Wasn't he in New York?
Was it New York? It might be.
I think it was New York.
Like I said, I'm taking Chris Mullin first. I think Run TMC might be the hardest to rank because while they were good when they were together, they were all spectacular when they were separate. Their teams just didn't have good success when they were all separated.
Yeah,
I think Run TMC only lasted 3 seasons.
I'm with you on that one.
Till this day, if you want to play me NBA Jam, I'll beat your ass with Golden State with Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullin, bro. I will smash anybody because ain't nobody stopping me from shooting these damn threes.
You do what you got to do in that regard. So fantastic crossover. That was a fantastic crossover. That was fantastic. You know what time it is.
Yes, sir. Let's run it.
All right. Let's bring it down a couple notches because you know what time it is. You know it's time for the real talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all saw it. We all read it. We all heard it. We did something that don't make a lot of damn sense.
Yeah.
We glorified a loser. In what world, as competitive as the United States of America is, do we ever highlight the loser? I don't give a damn who lost the Super Bowl. They're not relevant anymore. Nobody remembers the loser of the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup or the World Series or the NBA Finals.
Unless you're us.
Yeah, well, we remember because that's different reasons, but the fact that this happened. All right, so for those who, for some odd reason, have slept under a rock like Patrick Starr for the last 48 hours and didn't see when this came out, but the first lady came out and obviously got drugged through the mud and set on fire after this, but said that when she was talking about inviting LSU to the White House and all this stuff because they just won the championship, and she's like, I want to go. I'm going to talk to my husband, the president, of course, and say that I want to invite Iowa because they played such a good game, and and I think that's sportsmanship. And I'm like, pause. What? First of all, they lost. Second off, they got blew out. It was not a good game at the end. It was competitive for 3 quarters. It was a blowout at the end of the score. They lost by like 22. In what world was that a competitive game? In basketball, if you lose by 20 points, it's no longer competitive. You lose by 5 or less, that's competitive. You lost by 20 plus. And you talking about inviting the loser to the White House. Now, for those who don't understand how this part works, let me explain it to you. Now, obviously, college sports is there's a lot more college sports than there are professional sports because there's a lot more champions. So they don't invite onesies and twosies of NCAA championship. Why? They do it all together. They bring all the swimmers, basketball players, golfers, tennis players, wrestlers, NCAA girls basketball, men's basketball, football, all that. They bring all the champions together. Why in the hell would the Iowa Hawkeyes, who lost in the championship, be at the White House as the only loser being recognized? How do you recognize them? You recognize all these champions. Oh, and here's the women's basketball championship runner-up, the Iowa Hawkeyes. How the fuck that look?
And something that's bugging me about it, that a lot of people don't know. This is not like the NBA or the NFL and things like that. All the college athletes that won championships all get invited at the same time.
Yeah,
it's not separated like the pros. So if you invite Iowa to come and celebrate that they lost and they won second place, and you don't invite nobody else, what the hell does that say?
But you're also taking away from what LSU did. Like, why are you bringing my opponent, who I just blew out by 20, to the White House? Like, why are you doing that? So I bring that up because I wanted to bring to light, excuse me. We talk about this, and we literally had a situation where somebody tried to give someone a participation trophy. Why? You showed up to the championship and you lost. Take your ball, go home, reevaluate, come back next season. Caitlin Clark ain't going nowhere. She's not even eligible for the draft because she still has another year that she has to be in college. So she can now, because of what she's done now, don't be surprised if the transfer portal for Iowa is a little hot now because people are going to go want to play with Iowa because they want to go play with Caitlin Clark because they want to possibly try to make a run. Same with LSU. Reese ain't going nowhere. She's still young as well. So you might see this matchup again. And maybe it flips. Maybe Iowa wins this time. But until then, do not invite any losers to the White House whatsoever. We got to stop doing this. In life, there are winners and there are losers. There are no in-betweens. There are no any of that. There isn't. You either win or you lose. If you win the championship. If you lose, you don't. You don't get anything. You get to go home. You get to reevaluate. You get to be pissed off for a whole year until you try to come back. But that's all you get. You don't get invited to the White House to hang out with all the winners when you're the only loser. Like, who wants to be the only loser at an all-winners party? Make that shit make sense. That's like going to the Olympic Games and being fourth place and standing next to the medal stand with no medal. Like, that's the equivalent of that. At least there's a first, second, and third. At least they all get medals. But if you're fourth, you just stand there. You look stupid. So that's how that would have looked. That's the optics. None of that looks right. So let's not even start that precedent at all. Let's not do that. Don't invite no losers to the White House. You have been with your husband for a very long time. You know how politics go. Everything is about optics and how things look. None of that looked right. None of that sounded right because it ain't right. You know how politicians get down. If you say the wrong thing, somebody gonna take it, set it on fire, and run with it. And that's exactly what happened. You started a hellfire. But at the same time, I will commend you on this, Madam First Lady. You did shine even more light on women's college basketball because you gave every single media outlet more to talk about for the next 2 days after that. In years past, after the women's national championship game, after about 12 to 18 hours after the fact, usually doesn't get talked about. But because of what you said, we talked about it today. Today's Wednesday, and we're still talking about it. And the game was played on Sunday. So kudos to you on that. Women's college basketball is here to stay. And it is only going to get better because of how this national championship and how this tournament went. Looking forward to it. But like I said, do not highlight losers. Don't do it. Because it's the worst thing you could possibly do. Why are we doing this? I hate participation trophies. I hate anything that says, oh, you were here. Let me give you this certificate. Thanks for trying. No, I fucking lost. Let me be pissed off and let me sulk on my own. I don't need a reward for that. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go watch film and I'm going to come back and go do it again next year. Your thoughts, sir?
Okay. I'm going to talk about this how it relates to me, and it's pretty much echoing what you said, but I just want to give it like a more personalized experience, right? So let's talk about this. I play fantasy basketball. I play fantasy football. That's the only fantasy I play. I don't play nothing else. I'm not gonna play baseball, none of that. I don't understand the rest of this stuff. I understand basketball, football. I do understand baseball, I just don't understand fantasy. So I have had the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Bad luck.
I have had the pleasure of playing against this bitch on the other side of the screen over and over again in the championship, and I haven't beat him in the past 8 fucking years, and it's annoying. It's very fucking annoying.
Serving hot ales, 450 degrees out the oven.
Shut up. It's my time. You shut the hell up. I'm starting to feel like Skip Bayless with Shannon Sharp. It is my time. I don't want you to interrupt me. No, I don't feel like that. But you already know how it goes. I just had to throw a slug there. But you know, at the end of the year, when I've lost to this man four times now, yeah, I think it's basketball lost you 4 times. Football lost you like 2 or 3 because our football league is just fucking phenomenal.
Between you got in my ass this year in fantasy football.
I did, but I still lost at the end. But what I will say is that, okay, I don't give a damn about no damn second place. That shit pisses me the fuck off. Only thing that second place tells me is I'm the first loser. Y'all got to stop giving these damn participation trophy awards. When you get participation awards, nobody's motivated like, oh, I still got a ribbon that I can still wear. And it's, you know what? Let's take it back even further. You're going to appreciate this one, Jay. I promise you will. You know when you're in elementary and they tell you that you're going to take the physical fitness test?
Hell yeah.
And there's the presidential award. There's the vice presidential award.
You taking it back.
And then there is the participation award.
Nah.
No athlete in our class wanted the vice presidential award or the participation award. We wanted to say that we were among the best. If you got presidential award, you were among the top tier. You might not have been the absolute best, but you were right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know all your times compared to everybody else's, but if you made presidential, you made presidential. Fact. You know what I'm saying? And you know you're among the best. Like, okay, individual sports, I get rewarded in the first, second, and third. It's an individual accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? It's one person. We give first, second, and third place. We give gold, silver, and bronze.
That's why the Olympics makes the most sense.
No disrespect to anybody that's won silver or bronze. But Silver's just saying you're the first loser. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Except when you're at the Olympics. At the Olympics, you being the second fastest person or the second highest jumping person in the world is a really big accomplishment, because there are millions of people who try to vie for that spot. But here we are in the NCAA in basketball. You're playing the best amongst the best. Team versus team. You're not better at a team sport than millions and millions of other teams. Somewhere, I don't care what anybody says. Maybe you might not believe this. I don't know. There's a junior college out there that could beat your ass on any given day in the team sport. This is a fact. So the fact that you got to start in a field of 64, go down to a field of 32, go down to a field of 16, go down to a field of 8, go down to a field of 4, and then get to the last 2 and win. And you can't lose a single fucking game, bro. You can't. You should not be celebrated for coming in second, because you did not do the impossible.
You got to go 5-0.
You did not do the impossible. I don't care what anybody says. There should be no such thing as celebrating second place.
Ever.
All I'm gonna say is there's a rapper who's one of my favorite rappers of all time, and you know who one of my favorite rappers of all time is. He says in a song where he was dissing everybody in the rap game, what does it take to be number one? The quote goes, 2 is not a winner, and three
nobody remembers.
I repeat, 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. What does it take to be number one? I don't want to hear it, bro. Look, all I know is I'm in a league in fantasy basketball and fantasy football. I've came in second over and over again. I've never won first place. You know what's crazy? I remember I came in second place. Nobody else does. Only thing they remember is this bitch ass nigga to the left of me on the screen won. That's all they remember. They remember he's the champion and he won again. That's what they remember. Am I mad? Am I mad about it? No, I lost. There was no way to cheat. I lost fair and square. You know what I'm saying? We went at it, and I take my L. You know what I'm saying? Good shit. I took my L. It is what it is. But the fact that you feel like you got to give out a trophy or participation award, where is the motivation in this? Where's the motivation to get better? Why are you not mad that you came in second? You know why you're not mad? Because your bitch ass is getting a trophy too. And I can't stand it. I don't want no damn ribbon that says I came in second. I don't want no damn ribbon that says I came in third. I don't want no damn, like even this week in fantasy basketball, I don't give a fuck about no damn. I don't care if I finished third or fourth. I didn't finish first. I don't care about the consolation game. It doesn't matter. What matters in the consolation game is 2 losers are playing to see who comes in third. That's what the hell a consolation game is. 2 losers are seeing who's the
playing
second
for a draft spot. You're playing for a draft spot.
Regardless, basically what we're playing for is to see who's the second loser instead of the third loser. Because the person that loses in the championship game is the first loser. I don't give a damn if I'm the first, second, third, fourth, fifth loser. Guess what I am?
A loser.
The loser. I don't give a fuck about none of that. And the fact that people feel that everybody needs an award, and I can't stand AAU anymore. AAU is the one place where we can rely on where they weren't doing that shit, and now they do it.
It was only a matter of time.
I couldn't be a football coach or a basketball coach in AAU or wherever, or Optimus, when my team comes in second and they give us silver medals. I'm throwing them shits away. You're not getting it. You want a fucking medal? You go home and you grind and you come back next year and we're going to go win it.
Preach.
That's just, that is what it is. It is what it is. You should see me and this man go at it in basketball on the court. Most of the time we play on the same team. If you ain't never seen us play against each other, he's better overall. Oh, but I ain't going down without a fight. and he knows.
As you shouldn't. As you shouldn't.
He knows. So I don't like the whole participation award shit. It's really annoying. I don't think Iowa should be invited to the White House because they lost, and you're opening a can of worms that you don't want to open. Because second place in every single college sport should have to come now. I mean, like literally. Golden State won the championship last year in the NBA. Should Boston be invited to the White House?
No.
Why not?
Because they lost.
Exactly. So why should it be any different with college?
It shouldn't. The only sport where it matters if you're in the top 1 through 6 is track and field, because all those places score points towards the overall team score to win a particular thing.
Wait. I'm not gonna say that's the only. It depends on if you count NASCAR as a sport, and it also depends on if you count soccer as a sport. The soccer goes by goals.
Well, yeah, but that's over the course of a season, and that's one track meet that determines who wins that track meet.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of all the individuals and how they place and how their points set up, who wins that track meet. Soccer is over the course of a season for goals and stuff for tiebreakers, and NASCAR is also, it's because you're going for a cup. That's the totality of the entire season. That's not the one event.
So one race, if you finish, I'll say this: if you finish second or third in NASCAR, and it's not the actual what's the NASCAR championship called? I always forget.
Oh, well, you have I don't know what the cup. I know there's a cup that they all chase. The big race is like the Daytona 500 is the big race that everybody wants to win because it.
Well, there's the final cup. I can't remember what it's called. Same thing with PJ. PJ got PJ championship.
Gotcha.
If you finish 1 through 6 in PGA at any other time during the year, it's okay to celebrate. You finish 1 through 3 any other time in NASCAR during the year, it's okay to celebrate. But when it comes down to the championship, because you have to place for the championship, and it's it's PGA championships, and you lose, or it's NASCAR championships, the NASCAR Cup, and you lose. Ain't no reason to celebrate you finishing second. You lost. You just fucking lost. It is what it is. I hate to be the one to tell you that, but I mean, hey, same thing with track and field. You go at it all year to qualify for the finals. You get into the finals, anything can happen. The last place person that came in 6th could be the person that finishes number 1 overall at the end of the year in that final race. He blows everybody out the water. It is what it is. When you get to that final race,
it'd be like that.
Individual sports, I'm okay with celebrating first, second, or third. Team sports, nah, bro. You don't get praised.
Dallas hit 4 threes in a row.
Well, that's quite the switch up.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Wasn't ready for that. But so clearly, fantastic real talk segment.
Fantastic. Good job.
Always, hey, man, as always, Gentleman Talk, we try to give you guys the best possible content given what we see, what we hear, what we find, what we talk about between now and next Tuesday to prepare for Wednesday, and we try to bring it all to you. Obviously, today was a big deal because they were down and now they're up by 4. That's why it's a big deal.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right.
Brother, I see you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all tuning in once again to another fine episode from the 2 finest gentlemen that you've ever seen on a live stream. As it says in the headlines, I am the CEO of DILFs International, Mr. GQ, the one and only.
And as I said in my headline, I am the leader of the Baby Mama Steelers, DJ Micah B.
We out.